Oh, shoot. We got the wrong intro up, but that's all good. Hey, Mikey.
What's up, Gabe?
Happy Tuesday, man. We survived.
Some of us.
Some of us. Yeah. I mean, I don't know who really stepped out, went all in on any of the losing teams. But from what I can tell, everyone I know got at least one through if they were still in.
That's fair.
Yes. I saw that y'all were on the Raiders. Is that right?
Steelers.
Oh yeah, sorry, I got you mixed up with the other dude.
I feel like we snuck one by.
You mean because of how the game played out, or because?
No, like in general, like we banked Packers.
Yeah.
And we were able to sneak one out with a relatively inferior team.
Okay, let's talk about that. So, we projected Packers like 35, 36, I forget, something like that. Your group is all people new to Circa Survivor.
Yeah.
When they saw that Green Bay was like 54, 55%, what was their reaction? Were they like, this is obvious, or what? Just, I'm curious how they interfaced with that.
They were like across the board, everyone was pretty jacked about that. They were like, obviously, like, go Flacco, but but they liked being on it, and they liked early on the score kind of got out of hand, so we were never really in contention contention of losing. So it was like a double whammy. We saw huge ownership of one big favorite, and I wasn't that, like, there have been teams like Buffalo versus the Saints where I felt it was like out of control, like huge spread. I didn't necessarily think that this spread was I thought it should have come down when they traded for Flacco. I felt like he was a capable enough person that could come in and win a one-off game. And I think the spread did come down from like a little bit, like 14.5 down to 13.5, I think, by kick.
Oh, I didn't know this.
So backing up my theory a little bit that, people were thinking that Flacco could potentially get something going. I don't know. I felt like it was, obviously Green Bay was the favorite and should have won, but I just felt like it was a little bit closer than I would have liked. The feeling was a little bit closer than a 13.5 point favorite would be for me.
Yes. Okay. I think I get where you're coming from. One thing that sticks out to me about it is, map and stuff. It's pretty clear Green Bay has a good future. They're not a strong holiday future, though, right? Like, they're not the holiday favorite. So people in the field were just like, I don't care about their future. Like, it's not a holiday favorite, so I'm just going to burn them. 55% is a crazy high number.
Yeah.
For a week 6 spot. But, so much of the field just, since they're not penciling them in for holidays, they were happy to use Green Bay. And we'll see how much they get punished in the coming weeks if Green Bay is the big favorite on these spots. But I think it's relevant for this week because we got kind of similar setup as last week, which is
we've been comparing the weeks as we go along. I think last week was similar to the Buffalo Saints week, which was I don't even remember.
With like the single big favorite up top, but it's not a holiday favorite, so it's like, so this week we got Kansas City, like 86% is what I'm looking at, and the next biggest favorite, New England, 76. So
but a little bit different in that. Actually, one major difference is that we got a double holiday.
Right, double favorite. Kansas City versus Dallas, Kansas City versus Denver.
So it's really difficult to justify going with them here, but it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how many decide to do it.
Yes. Hey, what's your throw out a gut? Give me a first read on it.
I don't know. Let me see. So they're 94% available is what I'm seeing.
Hold on, dude. Hold on. Let's pause for a second, man. earlier in the year, we started making some bets, and you got me right now. I'm in the hole, and if we just have no more action, I'm going to be on the hook, dude. So you got to give me a way out. Just throw out a friendly Kansas City line that I can take over.
Well, let's do more recap before we dive into like what's going on in the future.
Dude,
and this will give you some time.
This is how you get me, Mikey. You're just we're never going to get something else on the books, but fine.
No, I promise to get at least something down with you.
All right, well, go on. What do you want to recap, man?
No real carnage for the most part. Although I'll tell you what was kind of cool is when I was checking the post, the Twitter post that has all the picks.
Yeah.
I looked, last night and I was like, it's relatively inconsequential. There's a handful of people on it, and then double boom, like it's not nothing, like one point whatever percent, and then point some other percent. See ya.
No, that was nice, man. 70 was like 80 total last night, and hey, something to yell at on Monday night, man. I like that.
Yeah, it was like I looked at it and I remember being like, oh man, I had forgotten. I was like, I hope like there's like 6% on Commanders or something. And
yeah, both those teams were they're kind of oddball survivor picks if you took Washington or Buffalo last night, right? Like,
yeah,
they both have future spots. This week was just a weird week with how the things came out, man. Like, there was everyone avoided like Indy, Rams, Denver, and Philly way more than I think is like the optimal range, kind of. But I guess people just didn't want to join you on Pittsburgh or join you on Vegas.
I know, and I've explained to you that we do a vote each week for who we pick, and it was actually like the first 6 votes came in on Steelers, so the decision was already made. But we were oscillating between. It seemed like people were talking Steelers or Raiders, which was kind of interesting that nobody even touched Green Bay, which was like you'd think there'd be some chicken shits out there that want to lock in their 13.5 point favorite.
In theory, if those 6 votes came in on Pittsburgh and you wanted Green Bay, do you start filibustering until deadline and then kind of just get the process off?
I mean, the truth is, like, it's in my hands. I'm the one that texts our pick in. So like, and we've already said in the past, we're going to do like a super rug pull on everybody, where the vote comes in and it's overruled, and then
let's see. You need
we picked. Yeah, turns out we picked Raiders or something like that. But if it works out to our favor, then I guess that's good. But if I put in the one and against the grain and we lose, that doesn't bode well for my invite back to the game, I guess.
Yeah, no more invite if you rug them. Yeah, I mean, last week it was kind of exciting at first when Indy maybe knocked off the Denver game. Only like 5% was on it that morning, but it was kind of maybe not like a car crash, but some type of sick thing made me want to really invest in that game, like Denver Jets. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah,
but it was the type of thing where like you think all those Europeans in the stands. What are they thinking? What are we doing to ourselves watching this game? But for the Survivor sickos, it was kind of a perfect type of game because you start thinking, like
in terms of like ball knowledge, what did you gain from this past week?
Oh, some ball knowledge stuff.
So like, for just as an example, like Panthers aren't the rollover that we thought.
Panthers are good. Maybe right. That Green Bay hosting Panther spot seems like the perfect trap spot in a few weeks for Green Bay. Maybe.
Like, we can't just pencil in the Panthers opponent as a viable pick each and every week nowadays. Now.
Yes. Now that's about Tennessee and the Jets,
Yep.
and maybe
What do you think about like Arizona falling off? I'm kind of like mega out on them.
Yeah, I mean, no one was ever mega in on them, and they're not that
Yeah.
available. Like, what can you do, right?
That's why it feels fantastic to have them, crossed off for my entry at least.
Hold on, before some ball raise, I gotta say, man, that Arizona versus Titans game a couple weeks ago. Now that the winning coach has already been fired, and the other coach got fined like $100K. That was a major point in like Survivor history. I feel like so many people experienced that one, and for the coach to be fired like 8 days later, everyone who picked the Cardinals is like, ugh, this guy got the win. It's pretty remarkable, and I'm over it. I'm not still seething about DeMarcado, but
I'm a little.
Had to touch on that. The coach got fired, and but he still got the win. He still knocked out, what is it, like millions of, probably including Grandissimo and Circa Survivor. It was
and private survivors.
Right. It might have been billions.
It could even be in the billions.
Right. They got to put that on the next GDP number or the next jobs report number. How hands out and survive. I'm sure. Thanks. Anyway,
noticeable dip.
Anyway, these teams, we got some new power ratings on Atlas this morning. And I think I noticed maybe Arizona hadn't moved too much. Arizona -2. And the worst teams we got, Tennessee down here, Jets down here, Carolina. They're making strides. They're not in the basement anymore.
They just give you like the vibe.
Oh, Mikey just blacked out. So, Tennessee is looking like the worst right now, and New England and Vrabel coming in. You got to think that's going to be a popular spot. We projected that number 1 today. Projections are weird. Hey, Mikey, welcome back, man. Good to see you.
Sorry.
I was just saying how Tennessee's the worst, and this week New England is playing them. Vrabel revenge game. Drake May's been slinging that thing. He's got the best like advanced numbers out of the quarterback, something like that. He's looking awesome. And hey, Mikey, welcome back, man. Good to see you. This week, New England, we projected number 1. Which I was going to hold that back from telling you, Mikey, why you set the Kansas City line. Yeah. But I let it slip. And
well, to be fair, you have a leg up on me in making this bet. If that's your assumption, or if you want me to go high on this number, because my entire premise since we started was people don't seem to know like anything about this contest or how it works. And if Kansas City is owned in any serious number, that would imply that I'm right about that inclination. But I think I'm at a disadvantage because at this point in the contest, I think if you weren't paying attention early on, you now are paying attention. So people might not have done any mapping whatsoever. Week 1, 2, 3, even 4. But now things are getting a little more serious. We're a bit closer to holiday games. And I think if people have entries like mine where they have a group entry or, whatever, they're at least talking about the idea of, who do you want to bank for Thanksgiving and who do you want to bank for Christmas?
Yes. Okay, I hear that, and definitely personally, I would not be very stoked about taking Kansas City this week. just because the future is bigger than the present. Yep. But there's only so many teams to pick this week, right? Like, and we know how Circa people like I say we know how, but like we missed projections pretty bad last week. But in general, we know how people in Circa like these teams that are like low future value, decent win percentage. And the only two this week like that, or maybe there's three, is New England, Chicago, and Pittsburgh. Kind of. Pittsburgh now has like a good week on the map. But those three teams, what do you think about those three, Mike?
Of all the ones that intrigue me, I mean, I'll talk about globally because I don't want to just talk about my entry, it's because I burned Pitt, and I think Chicago. So like part of this is like we're projecting, we're looking at the future games, obviously based on what we've seen so far. And so, whereas we were projecting Panthers in week 1, 2, or 3, where they look like, completely horrible, that if the games where they looked horrible don't look quite as horrible as they did, at the beginning of the season. Same goes for like the Bears now, where they've showed a little bit of life. I think what's his name, Caleb, has looked competitive and capable of winning, and especially Drake May. Drake May is like an MVP candidate at this point.
Dude, he's slanging that thing.
So
is the stuff you're saying? Is there something about the league this year though? Like the NFL, there's more like this
parity in general
style because like the field goals and the kickoffs and every team just lets every other team like drive the ball until they hit field goal range. Hold on one second. This dog. I gotta see it.
Don't do anything rash. Oh my God.
I think I made it worse, dude.
Oh
no. Okay, Mikey. So those three teams, are you guys considering New England, Chicago? Is that like your top?
I suspect that we're gonna see, for my entry, I think we're gonna see the votes come in on the Patriots. That's what I'm thinking.
We put them out like 35, 36% as our opening for them. How does that make you feel?
I think a little bit worse, but I think we've demonstrated that we are at this point all in on the team du jour rather than the good team. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I hear you, but is that like what you want to?
I like eventually. So like I told everybody this, like when we're at the poker game, I was like, look, we can keep doing that, but like it's nice to have Buffalo and the Packers banked and the Eagles and all this stuff banked. But at a certain point, you're just flying in the face of like using your 10-point favorite, using your 14-point favorite. You're going to get to like week 15 and have, all these teams banked. Like it's nice to use some of your good teams at some point along the way.
Yes. It's always cool when you can find like the tricky spot where everyone thinks they're about to save a team for a spot.
Yes.
And then you steal them with the EV. Like, for example, this past week, I thought Indy and LA were like that, where both clear future spots on the map that you're mapping, like, okay, I want these teams here. And like people mapping didn't really want to use them this week, but they were pretty solid favorites. And like short-term EV wise, they were a decent earn because people were saving them so much for the future.
It's kind of like what was the game show? No whammy, stop.
Big bucks, no whammy. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, big bucks, no whammy. And yes, you can just keep going, no whammy, stop, and just keep doing it. But like eventually, it's going to land on a whammy.
Yeah, man. And being on the most popular team when the whammy hits is just a perfect like recipe to feel dumb about Survivor. In New England, you might be setting yourself up this week. So, okay, Mike, I know you're getting me to talk out everything I'm thinking before you just put the line on Kansas City so I can get you. I even put my projection on the screen.
You're the professional.
I mean, it's Tuesday. We put these out a few hours ago, and a bunch of people have already said why it's wrong one way or the other.
You're gonna make me say a number, and like I'm gonna look like a dummy. I know it, and I've been trying to think of the number that I want to give. That's like, I don't even think I'm gonna. I haven't seen your projection, and I'm not gonna like dig for it or whatever.
You don't see it on the screen right now?
It's super small on my phone. I honest to God cannot see it.
Okay.
But I don't think I'm going to come within like 5% or maybe even like 9% of what your projection is, and then you're going to laugh at me. And I don't.
Okay, so you're going to say a low number. I'm going to say over, and I guess now we can start talking about why it's wrong.
Okay, all right. You're asking me. Are you asking me what your projected number is, or what the actual will be?
I was trying to get you to throw out a line so I could hit over on the number you're about to say.
Okay, 91. You auto booked for the over?
91 entries is what it sounds like. I'll take over that.
No, I'm joking. I was giving 91%, jerk.
Ship it, dude. So if you're gonna, let's say you throw out 15%, because you already said something about how everyone wants to save the teams.
No.
Everyone's trying now.
No, you're giving me how many are going to be on the Patriots, right?
No, we're setting the Kansas City line.
Oh, Kansas City line. Okay.
Kansas City is the one where it's like some people think it should be high, some people think it should be low. So the interesting. I'm pretty sure New England's just going to be relatively high no matter what.
All right, you're going to make me go like a little bit against my knowledge that people don't really get it and aren't going to bank teams. But I will say the percentage of teams that'll be on Kansas City is 17%.
All right, I'll take over on that. Good luck. So I won't be shocked if it comes in under and you win this. Just saying.
Okay. All right. So I'm not getting laughed out of the room with that projection.
No. I mean, it could be like 10%.
Okay.
Especially if Chicago, specifically if Chicago gets bet up a little more.
Yeah.
Then people will be like, "Oh, I love this spot." The New England spot, people already love that one. Drake, whatever, good narratives, right? But I think it takes some like exuberance on other teams for Kansas City not to get used a lot, just because they're a big favorite. Thanksgiving's like within sight. Most people got a team. Most people got one of them favorites. They'll be fine. They don't need Kansas City. And also for Christmas, most of the field has Washington, and Washington playing Dallas that day. They don't have many spots before then. So I think a lot of the field is going to be like, "Oh, I got Washington and maybe Detroit. Like, I don't even need Kansas City." Not saying they're going to be popular, just kind of feeling it out, right?
So a little bit of ball knowledge. I think that spread comes down the Christmas one, the Commanders versus Cowboys. I think that Washington's primary problem is their defense is really bad, and Cowboys have demonstrated that they can certainly score. And so I get the sense that Washington, I don't even know if they're like the better team on paper. I think.
That's what this represents. Like on paper right now, like, if you want to have a power rating based on like, if you compare two teams, Washington's is positive. we have 1.9, but maybe it's only 1. I don't know.
Sure.
And Dallas is the exact opposite. Dallas is negative about minus 1.9. So
And
plus
like,
home
yeah,
advantage, they're gonna be a favorite.
yeah, Dallas is losing to like teams like, that were considered duty piles or whatever. And then, but I don't necessarily think that that's indicative of like their overall strength as a team. They score a bunch. They just, it's not, and it's also like they didn't lose to the Panthers like 42-17 or something. It was like within reach. So I kind of have this feeling that spread's going to be like 3 by the time we get there. And you're really going to wish that you had Kansas City at that point.
Yeah, but I mean, -3 is fine. There's only 3 games. There's only 3 favorites, and one of them, or I'm not saying Washington is the value earning play, but if there's only 3 games and you're on a -3, that's like feeling fine. And it's months ahead of time, so if it doesn't actually get to -3, it won't be clear for months until the market shows up. I'm not sure how soon we could see a market for that game. So if Kansas City, let's say everyone wants Kansas City to save them, so they're only 10%. Let's say they're only 10%. Then where does the rest of the people pick from?
The other thing is if you look at percentage available, like Green Bay and Broncos are now down like quite a bit.
Yeah, they can't be very popular, especially both of those games too are kind of like a little bit suspect. I feel like,
sure,
where people aren't enthused about playing against the Giants with Denver, especially Bo Nix.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't have that thing. I don't know. And also Green Bay at Arizona. That's kind of a sketchy one. And both those teams have the future spots, and they're only 40-ish%. So we know those teams can't be popular.
I don't. So me personally, this week, I don't mind Green Bay here.
On the road.
Now that I'm looking at it, I'm slowly convincing myself that's kind of my.
You're Green Bay already, just like that.
Because, well, for one, they're 42% available because everybody, broke them out last week. And so you're going to be on a relatively low-owned team. I think, you have them, the Panthers in week 9, so they're 12-point favorites. You got Chicago down the road too. But again, this goes back to you can't just be banking the good teams every week. At a certain point, you got to spend your cash.
Yeah, but we just had the first quarter of the season end, and now we're kind of starting the second one, and we're still kind of early.
I feel like a little bit, but I feel like, we've gotten away with banking all these good teams, and it's time to cash in a little bit.
Yes, I hear that. And on the week where New England and Chicago are the sketchy-ish popular teams, it's kind of cool to use a strong team and just hope roll the dice against the chalk, so to speak. But New England, just thinking about this map since I got it up, New England they got a bunch of spots in the future now that their ratings kind of ticking up.
And I also think that they're going to get better as the season goes on. Like Drake May, the younger quarterbacks, I suspect, will, get in the swing of things more than the older quarterbacks will kind of, degrade over time.
Yeah. Also, maybe Vrabel is like that too. I don't have the numbers on it, but I feel like Vrabel's teams are kind of slow starting out the gates, and then they're playing better ball. I don't know. No data, just a gut feeling.
Yeah.
But New England next week, they're hosting Cleveland.
Yeah.
Week 11, they're hosting the Jets. 13, the Giants. The Jets and the Miami. The field, if the field goes crazy on them this week, the field might be kind of getting ahead of itself.
Well, you just said Miami. I mean, if you get to the point where you're looking at using them, then I mean, that's exciting because that's week 18. That's week 18.
Yeah, they're probably going to be playing for something then, right?
Yeah.
And Miami's going to be like even more depressing team by them. Just throwing it out there. But hey, so New England, what I'm thinking about, obviously I'm a little, I wanted some New England, right? But week 11 against the Jets, that favors to be one of the biggest favorites that week. Currently on the map, we got Pitt -9 versus Cincy, but that one's a little weird because Cincy, I mean, I don't know anything about the dates of when people are coming back. I don't know, but could make
What do you
sense.
think? I mean, well, the week that you're looking at is I see Commanders, Dolphins. They're 6-point favorites, and Commanders are 94% available. So I suspect that that's going to be a pretty good pick.
Yeah, those European ones are weird, man. I can't remember if we've ever had a very, very popular international game in Survivor. I feel like maybe 15 percenters, but that's a funny week too because Atlanta hosts Carolina.
I was just going to say that.
A lot of people have been penciling that in for weeks, but Carolina did smoke Atlanta a couple weeks ago, right? A few weeks ago.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so back to like a little bit of ball knowledge stuff. Do you think, the Falcons game last night, could that change your outlook on them and make you think like some of the things that might have appeared closer, some of the games that might have appeared closer down the road for them are now you're penciling Falcons in as like way more of a favorite than you would have previously?
I mean, before that Carolina game, it seemed like they might have some defensive skills or whatever, and they seem like their defense is like clicking now, but obviously they called up the wrong plays playing Carolina. But since then, handling Washington, handling Buffalo, yeah, they're back on track. Their rating must be like going up, I would think. There's a couple spots for them. They have that. They're kind of a. What am I trying to say? Like that last week, at the end of the year, Atlanta gets to play Carolina, New Orleans like every year, right? So they're kind of a cool team to save. This is their little. I don't know if you see this little chart, but this is their power history, where it was like, oh, they're going up. Nope, Carolina. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they get to an average team, but not there yet.
Well, if you want to talk Week 18, I mean, I have a feeling that everybody is going to have Jacksonville available, so it's just going to be like a shove fest on Jacksonville.
But they play the Jets on week 15 though, man. I think that might be the clear out the Jacksonville spot.
Maybe to some amount, but I think, I don't know. I think a huge chunk is going to have Jacksonville available week 18.
Week 18, I feel like it's whenever we start talking about week 18, it feels like I don't know the word for this. But it just feels like it's like we're talking, if we're like football coaches and we're like telling everyone when to do the drop kick. We're like, okay, and remember, if you recover a fumble and we're down and this, bounce the ball on the ground and kick it through.
Drop kick it.
You know what I'm talking about? It's like, what are we even?
It's like, coaching up a non-existent.
We just don't need to coach up. We don't need to coach at week 18. I think maybe around Christmas time, but we want to just get to Thanksgiving first.
Well, I don't know. I want to talk like the ICM implications of week 18. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Hey, I do find that stuff interesting, but I feel like it's such a different conversation when you know how many people it is. Like 6 people versus 60 is such a. It feels
so different. Yeah.
And trying to analyze it now, it's kind of like it's only going to happen once this year, so we can just wait until then.
You would know this. Has anybody gotten to week 18 with multiple entries?
Yes.
Go on.
So in 2020, famously, that was like 30 people won that year, right?
Yeah.
One guy, Survivor Atlas community member, I love my Baxter, homie.
Don't tell me he put both entries on one team.
Dude, even better.
No.
Way better. I gotta load it up because it's such a cool bit of Survivor lore, and you gotta be a Survivor historian to know this stuff. Of course, the dogs start barking as soon as I fire this up. But look at this, man. These entries.
Yeah.
Can you see this?
Yes, I can.
And how he picked the same team every single week on both entries. I gotta grab the dog, man. You stare at this for 30 seconds.
He didn't deviate a single time. Oh no, it's gone.
What do you think, Mikey?
It disappeared from the screen, brother.
Oh my God, it crashed. Dude, surely it's this one's fault, man.
But I did see that he doubled every single pick.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe there's something broken about this. I don't know. I'll just cut that. Yeah, he picked the same way all the way through. Even at the end, when it's like risk-wise, maybe you want to fork it.
Yeah.
He's just like, nah, I know it's gonna win. Same team on both.
He wanted a double share.
Yeah. Yeah, because like with those 30 left, if you have 2 entries, like you don't make double the money because you have to split from yourself if you have 2. Does that make sense?
I didn't know that.
No, like let's say you have an entry in the final 10 and 10 people win.
Yeah.
Let's say it's 1.8 million. But let's say you had 2 entries and 11 winners happen.
Yeah.
Like you don't make a clean double your money because the pool like splits.
You just have an extra share.
Right. But like EV wise, if you could have made it like put your team on a coin flip or something, it would have captured more.
Yeah, EVs. No doubt. Like it completely makes sense to me to split your entry, especially in the last week. I would have split it well before that. But.
Right, I'm the same way. But it's pretty cool because it happened, and it will probably never happen again. Probably not even close to happening again. Like, and that year didn't have the extra weeks. The NFL added another game the next year.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Yeah.
So I think 18 weeks maybe total or 17, something like that.
No, but it must have been 17.
But yeah, it's hard to get some picks out. Like this year, I guess this year people are ahead of last year as far as people with 10 entries at this point. Like, what's there, 6 people with 10 entries? Last year, going into week 3, there was none. So, and actually, I think some people had an entry get maybe close to Christmas with 2, and then lost the week before, or. I
do you see, again, you would know this. Do you see entries where it's like somebody has 10 entries, right? And then let's say they're kind of all over the board with the 10. So like week 1, let's say they're like 4 Broncos, 3, whatever. Do you see them like coalesce on one team in a down the road? Like, do the teams that are splitting from an early standpoint, do they then last week, do you ever see them shove Packers for all 10?
Yeah, no, I think, of the people with 10, I think everyone's done that except maybe one person. Because, at this point, when you have 10.
You couldn't have threaded the needle without shoving on one team.
Yeah, it's just.
It's really difficult to draw a snake through each, every pick and have that be a different snake and still have 10. I would suspect.
Yeah. Also just the emotion stuff too, the excitement and like wanting to be in. And I know this week, especially this week, everyone survived. And, the week before was like the carnage week. So
Yeah.
after this Sunday, everyone's feeling like, oh, there's only 4,000. Like I can do this. People are thinking about, like, in the poker tournaments, you look at the payouts, but you don't look at them like first levels. But like after you have a couple levels, you start looking at the board and going, oh, first place is that, second place is that.
Yeah.
Like people are doing that now. People are feeling the possibilities. So,
well, if that's the case, that would bode well for me on the under for the Kansas City. If people are watching the clock as you would in a poker tournament, then it would indicate that they are future thinking and gonna lean into probably the Patriots.
Yeah. Hey, one thing about that though, no proof of this, just feeling it out, but I feel like the field is a little reactive to the previous week, maybe.
Okay, I would agree.
So, like first couple weeks, everyone's surviving. Everyone's thinking, "Oh, I should use the team with no future value who's a big favorite." And then like Seattle and Houston get pressed up a little bit because of that. And then we have the wipeout week, Rams, Cardinals, and many more. And then the reaction to that is immediately go 55% on Green Bay. Like, I think that had something to do with it. I think if Arizona and Rams both win the previous week, the people's just brains are different. And people go, oh, that's right. Why would I burn Green Bay now? But instead, people, short-term memory is like, I'm scared. I don't want to be on a bad team. I want to win.
It's
I'm not saying it's major effect, but I think it has to be some like tangible effect. And we just had the week where everyone won, but the people who picked Green Bay feel a little bad, right? They're like, should have picked Vegas. I think this made a little bit of that force pushing Kansas City down. But I don't know.
So the reaction is like more risk on versus risk,
Right. And maybe maybe after only 1 week it doesn't like really ramp up, but it does. Like in Survivor, you can try to read the games and everything, but there's only so many things to like think about. And just as like a mass psychology experiment, I would think that affects people. The most recent action has to put the ideas in people's brain about.
Well, it's definitely stronger. Like anything, something that happened to you yesterday is going to be, more on your mind than something that happened to you last month. So like yes, you were on Green Bay this past week and you're bummed because you could have been on the Raiders or the Steelers. So now you're more open to looking elsewhere.
It's in your brain.
This week. I don't know. When we first few weeks, it was like a group of three of duty piles. It was Tennessee, Saints, and the Panthers. And now the Panthers have been ejected from this group as
they're escaping.
a little bit risky. So I don't know. I do like are we just going to see Tennessee just completely just go 0-17?
Okay, that's a good. I mean, we can dig into this angle, man. The coaches, when the interim coach comes in, it's like a different
dead cat bounce or whatever.
The dead cat bounce, man. Is it a dead cat bounce week for Tennessee? I don't know. I do think analyzing that as like a whole, like looking over the last 10 years and interim coaches, I do think there's something a little teeny bit interesting about it, because when you're firing your coach this early in the season, it's a pretty specific thing happening where your team's like, we can't even continue with the dude who trained us all year. So maybe they do have a little bounce. I don't know. I'm not diving.
I told you about the breakdown that I saw when, from some TikTok head that was like,
offensive line,
punching up their offensive line, and it was really bad. He would zoom in. I guess he had like the all 22 camera or whatever, and so you could see it, and they would zoom in, and like dudes were just like completely like they were either missing an assignment, or they like were just getting overpowered. So like even it was more than just like not knowing your assignment. So like even if the coach comes in and is like, cracking skulls and like, we're going to get better and we're not going to forget this stuff, and he coaches them up, they're still just like not capable of competing. They're just like not good players.
Well, do you know that the guy who got fired, his dad was the offensive line coach and he was a former head coach? So it's kind of extra funny. Maybe they're like, oh, I'm so good at coaching the line. You can just give me any players and we'll be fine. And then they got wrecked. Kind of like, what's his name? Josh McDaniels, the Patriots coach, saying he can turn any quarterback into a Super Bowl. I don't know. A lot of hubris. I mean, they're probably going to lose.
Yeah.
But even if they're a lock to lose, I'm not sure if you want to burn the New England.
Especially with, basically they're a team trending up for sure.
Yeah. So have you guys had a little preliminary vote? You guys feeling everyone's just?
No, I ban everybody from discussing or voting until after our podcast.
Oh.
Because I feel like I need to, get the information from you.
Freedom of speech, so dude, it's America. They can say anything.
You can say whatever you want. The government can't punish you. I can punish you.
Is that how that works?
I think so.
Hey, so I don't know if you've seen the new features, man. If you've been clicking around this thing, but it's a little cleaner now. And I forget if we did this last week, but it's fun just looking up the people who burned all the Christmas favorites already.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike. I don't know if you were about to say something. I just.
No, for sure. I was going to say that Atlas is like the first site I load up on Tuesday morning.
Yes, usually Tuesday.
What are you going to take?
Usually 1:00 is when, or 1:00 Eastern is when everything is like updated with the latest round, the latest ratings, all the EV stuff's in there. But hey, it's only 6 entries that have used all those teams. The Christmas favorites, just saying.
The kamikaze entry.
Yes. Are they wondering if the field or the contest ends before then? Is that what they're going for, or are they just underdog players? We don't know. Also, we added the availability in the lobby, so you can see like a live look at this. Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't done the screen. Shit. Replaces Mikey with a screen. So you can see we have the availability now, but it changes as all the games happen. So we have one version that's like the live, and if you also just want to look at what the availability was going into that week that it's on, you can check that. So like if you go back to week 1, and you can see availability. When it was before week 1, obviously everyone had 100, but if you want to look at the live availability, that's what it is now. So that's kind of cool. And yeah, we got some other features like always coming through, but there's a lot to do, right? Oh shit! Oh god!
Jesus.
Whew. All right, Mikey. Anything else we got to figure out this week before we wind it down? I feel like just
really. I mean, I'm thinking.
I'm already thinking about what's going to happen in your group chat, because I feel like a lot of people are making the same decisions, and that's like.
Well, okay, so let me just preface before you start. We obviously burned Pittsburgh and Denver, so keep that in mind.
Okay, so if I were you guys, I would be thinking about where New England crosses with those teams. Like week 11, like I guess you're just going to be fine going down here, but it does matter. And
don't you think like Packers should be intriguing for us just because they're 42% available? They're, sizable favorites, and you're getting a sizable favorite on a good team that's going to be like relatively low owned. Sure, they have future value, so like that's a strike against, but it seems like an opportunity to kind of cash in on the banking that we did last week.
Yes.
And avoid
Not wrong.
the Patriots.
Not wrong. But everything you said is like spot on. I mean, it's not wrong. But like the Green Bay, man, you just know you're going to be able to really punish the people even more so coming up soon. Like they're going to be used some this week, right? They're going to go down a little bit this week. And I guess the argument, the week 9 spot of Green Bay, they're playing Carolina. So maybe we have it -12 on this map, but you're making some ball reads, man. You might be down to -7 by then. Point being, Green Bay, like if that's the week that everyone's penciling in that they will crush, it's the only. What are some ways it couldn't be that strong? Like imagining ways that the Green Bay spot in a few weeks won't be like printing money for you.
Yeah. And I like to offer everybody like a brief breakdown of our options before we cast the vote. And I intentionally say like I'm not trying to guide you any direction, And every team that obviously that hasn't been picked already is available for you to select. But here's some things to consider, and then I'll say Chiefs are holiday team, blah blah blah. Patriots are going to be super high owned because they're 90% available.
Yes. The decisions, I really feel like each entry, it's more about than just the decisions. What you've used matters so much. And I don't think you need to like go too far in the future with this. But I think looking at all the weeks from here to Thanksgiving, maybe plus a couple more, it's like you might as well do that. Like which are the hard-looking weeks and how your entry is going to be on those weeks. For example, week 10, I think a lot of people are looking at this week. There's no double-digit favorites. The top 4 favorites are all the teams that have mostly been burned. I don't know if you're seeing this, Mikey, but week 10. And then after those 4 teams, then the next biggest ones are Carolina, Chicago. That seems like a kind of amazingly sketchy week if you don't plan ahead for it. And I know, I mean, you're kind of affected by this on that entry. Week 11 too, the New England Pittsburgh stuff, a lot of interaction there. I think the field is going to feel pretty good about just unloading on New England here. Just looking at this, like the stuff I'm trying to present to you to be like scary off New England.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's not really moving the needle, dude. I can tell by looking at it, you got New England locked in, dude.
No, I told you I'm Packers guy. As of this point, I think that I am.
Dude, what about you were just hyping up Caleb Williams and you see Chicago right here. Almost 70% to win.
I am slightly intrigued by that and extremely low future value.
The field is kind of wanting to like New Orleans. Like, not that they're scary, but they have that little bit of a thing where you don't feel like it's going to be a walk in the park taking Chicago against them. So that might keep Chicago a little lower.
Yeah.
I could see you guys ending up on that. But
Chicago's not bad. I mean, this is the week that they're going to be they're 5.5 point favorite. So
right, top of their range.
Yeah, the next closest, they're 4-point favorite against Cleveland.
All right, hey, it's worth talking about this one just for the ball knowers out there, man. Because this game, or actually, there's two games where I feel like it's going to be some both sides, and that is Cleveland hosting Miami. Doesn't speak to you at all? Doesn't perk you up a little bit? Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I the answer is I don't know. Like, I don't think Miami's as bad as like that's just like throwing it on a coin flip for no reason.
Well, it's not no reason if you got the group chat has all the same ball read that Cleveland will just clamp them down.
Yeah, but we've snuck one by every week, and this would be like ultra sneaking one by.
Yeah, okay. So I shouldn't even bring up Carolina at the Jets because the market says Carolina's favorite that game. And you haven't really snuck anything by. You've been picking big favorites. There hasn't been any major courage, right? You guys pick a -6 and you go, "Oh, we're really stepping out."
Yes, yeah, yeah. It makes me feel better to have that.
Yeah, I hear that. Well, I think just looking at it, similar to last week. I think the Green Bay spots very comparable to last week, like the Indy Rams spots, where a little people are going to build them. There's going to be some EV, and then like the entire field besides them is going to be going for the two soup du jours, New England and Chicago. Can you have two du jours? Is that
yes?
Or is that break the word?
Nope,
okay.
You can have it.
Can you have an unlimited number of du jours? Like at a restaurant? I don't know. Anyway.
Probably not.
Between Kansas City, New England, Chicago, that should be like the vast majority of every entry. Some Pittsburgh Thursday night. The Thursday one, we should talk about this for the last couple minutes since we're about to wrap up. But, we've had two Thursday upsets in a row, right?
Yeah.
We had the Rams, 49ers. We had the Eagles, Giants.
Yeah.
And they're both divisional matchups. And this Thursday is another divisional matchup. Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but this is like this quarterback wins when it's 68 degrees and the date is a 13th and
dude, you say that, but I have heard from so many people that to beware of this divisional matchup. So this is like a real thing in people's minds, and I can't even disprove it right now, except that I believe with my heart that the line is and the odds are pretty good. But the divisional matchup plus Thursday, Thursday games for so long were always the sketchy games anyway. There's a little
short week,
and the fact that the first year it was on Prime would only be the worst teams in the NFL. So I feel like it conditioned everyone to just think they're kind of trash teams out there Thursday night.
Yeah.
Anyway, that one could go. That one has a wide range. It could be down as low as like 5. It could be up to like teens. The Thursday plus divisional, it definitely scares some away, but also the appeal of getting in the clubhouse Thursday is obviously there. But the people who have been chasing that feeling have been whacked 2 weeks in a row. So it's kind of interesting. And on the tailgate, that leads right up into the game, so there's not much time to talk about it then.
Yeah.
So I guess
I'll try to join you this Thursday. Those have been so good, man.
Dude, I really appreciate them, and yeah, right on. Thanks for saying that. I guess you already burned Pitt, so you don't even care about that game. Even though I'm trying to bait you into saying you're going to take them. What's the point?
No.
All right, Mikey. Well,
all right, Gabe.
Let's keep the game-winning drive going. Not today, but just in general.
Yeah.
And
survive in advance.
Thursday, 4 p.m. Vegas time Survivor tailgate. Thanks for listening, everyone. Good luck. Come hang out in Discord too. We got a lot of people hanging there. Okay, bye.
All right, see ya.